everyone, David back here at you with awesome autographs and more, episode number 97. Another slow week in the TTM department. We have 5 of those, and I have 2 purchases, both through the mail. One from eBay, which I don't usually do, but felt the need. And then purchase from ABC Unlimited, which we'll go over towards the end of the video. Let's start out with our TTMs. First return is a 3 of 3 success in 63 days, correct. Former Major League Baseball player, and I got to apologize here, I'm going to have a little bit of a struggle because as I was starting the video, the phone managed to tell me that it was running out of battery. So I've got cords going on here. I'm sure I'm going to nail it sooner or later. Anyways, Mike Schooler, the 1990 Upper Deck, and then we have 2 1990 Leafs, and he is a new autograph for my Leaf set, so that's one more new one to add to the collection. Mr. Mike Schooler. He played from 1988 to 93 for both Seattle and Texas. Next up, this cord's driving me nuts because every place where I normally put things, the cord's in the way. Okay. Next up is a hockey return. Oops. This is Mr. Johnny Busick. Mike Schooler, by the way, was a point for Team 90s. This one is not. Mr. Busick played for Detroit and Boston from the 1955-56 season to the 1977-78 season. God, he was playing hockey before I was born. Not by much, but nonetheless. But anyways, I had this Greats of the Game card that I wanted to get autographed and then sent another autograph card. Mr. John Busick. Okay, next up, return number 3 is one of my many favorite Red Sox players, former Red Sox players. This is a point for Team 90s, although it will only be the last card that qualifies. Mr. Gary Allenson. Remember going to Fenway Park and seeing him play back in the early 80s. Which I went to Fenway Park a lot back in the early 80s. There's a couple of seasons where a buddy of mine and I went to every single weekend game in the season that was at home in Fenway. And I want to say that was the 82 and the 83 seasons, I think. Yeah, 82 and 83. And there's our 1990s card. It's a 91 line drive, which qualifies for a point for Team 90s. That's second point for Team 90s. I think we have 2 more. Yeah, the remaining 2 are both points. Next up, return number 4. Is former Major League Baseball player, Mr. Jeff Kunkel. Signed his cards nicely in blue ink. Mr. Kunkel played from 1984 to 1992, except for the 1991 year he did not play in the majors or the minors, as far as I can tell. He played for 2 teams, Texas Rangers and I guess it was his last year with the Chicago Cubs. I think these are all Rangers cards. I don't think I had one. So I'm going to have to get my hands on a Rangers card for the next time I send to him. That's Mr. Jeff Kunkel. Last up, from a TTM perspective anyways, is former NHL player Erik Kramer. There's a story to this one. So I'm going to show you something here. When I send out a TTM, I create an index card that has a bunch of information, including the name of the player, the dates, whether it's gone out for a private signing or TTM or whatever. And then I have a space where I put the date I mailed it and the date it returned. I show the success rate, 4 of 4, 3 of 3, whatever it is, as well as the number of days. I might as well show it while I'm talking about it. And if there's a fee or not. Plus, I show the time frame that they played up here, and then the teams that they played for during their career in the order that they played for them. Yeah, that's right. I think I got that right. Oops. Looks like the camera's a little crooked now. Not surprised with the cord pulling on it. So anyways, the story here is when I went into my box to pull out the card for Erik Kramer, the card said that it was sent on February 9th. Today is February 10th. I know some guys are quick, but I think that's just a little bit quicker than is humanly possible, which I didn't understand. Anyways, I dug further into the box and found the proper card for Erik Kramer, which was sent out on January 18th. So apparently, I sent to him yesterday again, without realizing I had sent out in January. So we'll have to see what happens with that return. Anyways, the 4 of 4, 23 days. He played in the NFL in 1987, was with Atlanta, and then not again until 1991 through 1997 when he played for Detroit, Chicago, and San Diego. And Chicago was obviously what he's most known for, and he was there the longest as well because he only played for Detroit 3 years. Oh, I do have a Lions card. I'm going to have to dig around and see if I can find an Atlanta card. 2 Lions cards and 2 Chicago cards. Mr. Erik Kramer. I like that one, so we'll put that one up in front. But I'll see if I can find a San Diego. Of course, after having sent to him twice in a month, literally only 3 weeks apart, he may never answer anything I send again. We'll have to see how that goes. Anyways, I'll try to remember to reference this video if and when the second request comes back. Okay, next up, we have an eBay purchase. And this is a shout out in a way to Michael Myers. He's been collecting very intently for those of you who watch his channel, and I will reference it in my description, or put the link to his channel in my description. But he is on a crusade, maybe, I don't know what you want to call it, to acquire as many of these Nolan DeVos cards as he can. So I saw this on eBay for, I think it was a little over $1, and I just couldn't resist having one for my collection. So my one, my only Nolan DeVos card. Okay, next up is my purchase from ABC Unlimited, and I will put the link to that into the description of the video as well. This is pretty much just random. These are just random cards. Some players that I wanted some extra cards of to fill in my collection, which one of these days I will show on video. I just got to get around to it. Anyways, first up, we have Mr. Danny Jackson on a 1992 Upper Deck while he was pitching for the Cubs. And then we have a couple of cards of Dave Johnson, who during his playing days played for the Baltimore Orioles. I know, I'm not sure off the top of my head if he played for anybody else, but this looks like when he was either probably coaching in the minor leagues back in the 1990s. No, actually, he was pitching. Sorry. Yep. And these are 1994 cards, and one's a 94, one's a 93. Okay, 93 here, 94, and he was apparently playing in the minors, because it does have pitching records in there. Next up, we have Mr. Lynn Jones, who, the major league player, played for the Detroit Tigers. Got all of these cards for like $1 or less, so they were cheaper than sending them through the mail. I have a few cards of his that I'd gotten through the mail. And then there, Mr. Lynn Jones. And we have one card of Mr. Tim McIntosh. I like these 93 leaf cards, so when I see them at a good price, I'll pick them up if I can. Again, these were all $1 or less, pretty much. I apparently don't know how to count, or I've screwed something up, which we may find, as I have one too many stands up here. Anyways, next up we have Mr. Mike Ignaziak. Played back in the 90s for the Brewers. I'm not sure. Oh, he's got his shirt on backwards. That's what it is. I couldn't quite figure out what that shirt said, and then I realized it's his name. But played for the Brewers back in the 1990s. Mr. Mike Ignaziak. Last two cards are two cards for my 1990 Leaf collection. These are new cards. So we have Mr. Kevin Miller. Get rid of that extra stand. And Mr. John Burkett. And that does it for today. We have 4 points for Team 90s in the Caleb's Card Challenge of the Decades. Battle of the Decades, sorry. The Battle of the Decades Challenge. I stumble on that every time. And I want to thank all of these athletes for their autographs. I'm losing it today. It's a good thing we're at the end here. Thank you guys for listening. Please, if you can, hit the like button to improve the exposure of the videos. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so over here and ring the bell, and you'll be notified when future videos come up. And feel free to make any comments or criticisms, especially about my babbling today. Anyways, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.